Welcome to this training brought to you by the North San Diego County Realtors, where we take real-world case interpretations published by the National Association of Realtors and turn them into practical learning moments that reinforce the Realtor Code of Ethics in action. Today's focus: Realtor not responsible for legal advice from Case Interpretation 1-18 under Article 1 of the Realtor Code of Ethics. Article 1 is all about loyalty, placing the client's interest above all else. But in practice, protecting those interests doesn't mean realtors must have all the answers, especially when it comes to taxes or legal interpretations. Sometimes the most ethical action is knowing when not to give advice and instead encouraging clients to consult an expert. That's exactly what happened in this case.
Client A listed a commercial property with Realtor B, who sold it. Following the sale, Client A learned that his total tax position would have been more favorable if he had disposed of the property in a trade. He complained to the Association of Realtors against Realtor B, stating that in connection with his listing of the property, he had discussed his total tax position with Realtor B, and that Realtor B, in spite of his obligation under Article 1 of the Code of Ethics to be informed regarding laws, had failed to advise him that a trade would be more to his advantage than a sale. At the hearing, Realtor B defended his actions by stating that it was true that Client A had briefly outlined his total tax situation at the time he listed the property for sale. Realtor B advised that he had told Client A that sale of the listed property might result in unfavorable tax consequences and suggested that Client A consult an attorney. The client had not taken this advice. After several weeks of advertising and showing the property, in the absence of a change of instructions from the client, the property was sold in accordance with the terms of the listing contract. The hearing panel concluded that advising the client to consult an attorney had demonstrated Realtor B's attempt to protect the best interest of his client. That in giving this advice, Realtor B had fully discharged his obligation under Article 1, that a realtor is not responsible for rendering legal advice beyond the advice that legal advice be sought when the client's interest requires it, and that Realtor B was not in violation of Article 1.
This case began with a commercial listing. Client A gave Realtor B the listing and during their conversation outlined his overall tax concerns. Realtor B advised the client to speak with an attorney, especially regarding potential tax consequences. But Client A didn't follow that advice. The property sold, and after the fact, the client realized a 1031 exchange or similar trade could have saved him more in taxes. Unhappy with the outcome, Client A filed an ethics complaint, claiming that Realtor B should have told him to pursue a trade instead of a sale. At the hearing, Realtor B was candid. Yes, the tax topic came up, but he had clearly advised the client to consult legal counsel before making any decisions. The client chose not to do that. Realtor B also noted that no changes were made to the listing or instructions, even after giving that advice, so the sale continued as originally planned. The question for the panel was, did Realtor B violate Article 1 by not giving legal advice, or did he fulfill his duty by recommending professional help? The hearing panel ruled in favor of Realtor B. Their decision made something very clear. It's not a violation of the Code of Ethics to recognize the limits of your role. In fact, by telling the client to seek an attorney, Realtor B was protecting his client, not failing them. This case is a helpful reminder. Your job as a realtor is to provide excellent service, not legal expertise. Clients rely on you for guidance, but the most ethical and professional thing you can do is know your boundaries and encourage them to seek expert advice when needed. When in doubt, document the recommendation and stay within your lane. Put yourself in Realtor B's shoes. Would you have done anything differently? Do you have a go-to way of phrasing referrals to an attorney or CPA? And if your client ignores your recommendation, how do you protect yourself and them? These kinds of situations happen more often than you think, so it's worth preparing now. Thanks for joining us for this short case interpretation review. Remember, the Code of Ethics doesn't expect you to be a lawyer. It expects you to be a trusted, ethical real estate professional who knows when to refer out. Stay sharp, stay ethical, and remember, your client's trust is earned and protected through your words and your actions. For more real-world training resources, visit www.youtube.com/@NSDC Realtors.